welcome to Wednesday night OWCP chats with Chris and Gini over there.
Hi.
And with us tonight, we've got Dr. Andrew Kammerer and Dr. Michael Suma. These are two of the core doctors in the Tampa Bay area for Gulf Coast Rehab and Federal Injury Centers. And tonight is the official first night of the interview series for Wednesday night OWCP chats. So you're all going to be, you get a chance to see a couple of the guys that are with Gulf Coast and Tampa Bay and get a chance to hear their perspective on OWCP, and you get to ask them questions tonight. So tonight, I'm pretty much taking the night off. All of your questions go to these guys. Believe me, they know the answers. They're really happy that I just said that. It's their first time.
Spot, right?
Yeah. They haven't been here 8 years doing this or anything, so give them hell tonight. Make it hard. Good job trying to stump them, because if they get stumped, I'm going to answer your questions. But I got Gini in the background, and those of you that didn't know, she had a surgery last Friday. She's recovering nicely. She's been up, walking around. She's able to eat and give me hell. She's given me all the orders. And what I found out is that it's really easy to live in a house when your wife does what she does. But the second she stops doing what she does, you really appreciate what it is that she does. And we've been cooking food that she prepped on Friday. We're still cooking prep food. Like, who preps a week's worth of food? And she did that like an hour before she went to the hospital.
That's impressive.
So it's really nice. So she'll be in the background. She's going to be asking the questions that you guys are typing in the comments. So keep them coming. She'll holler them out to me, and then we'll handle your questions. But the main reason for tonight is, it's a little different. I want you all to meet some of our doctors. We're going to start doing this every week. We'll have some of the doctors. We're going to have some union reps on. You all know Eric. Eric will be back with us eventually. I'm going to sometime ask some of you to come on and give me your take on OWCP, because everyone for the last several years has heard my take on it. And honestly, I'm not sure that we're getting through at the rate we should get through, because some people still go to Concentra or wherever else. And everyone knows I'm not shy about listing out the competition's name. That's the way it goes. So, little housekeeping. Gini would normally tell me to do a little housekeeping. She's sharing. All of you need to be sharing. Everybody just hit the share button, whether you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or YouTube. Share it with somebody. Just keep in mind that you are here and your friends are not here. And if they're not here, that is because you didn't tell them to be here. And it's hard to get this information out to the masses of people if you don't share them, because I only can talk to you. You can talk to everybody else. So hit the share button. She's going to outshare you tonight. But maybe all of you combined can give her a run for her money, because she is a share machine. But you can do it too. Okay, so like I said, she's giving orders in the background because I didn't think of this already. So she gave me this idea I'd never thought of, which was let them introduce themselves. It's like, nah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to let them be here. And you can all guess who they are. But all joking aside, so let's give them an opportunity to tell them who they are, what they're doing. So Dr. Kammerer, we all call him Dr. K, because his last name is a word salad for some of us. So Dr. K, tell us what's up.
Well, I'm a chiropractor in Florida, and yes, we'll probably address that tonight, that you can see chiropractors.
That's right.
Let's see. I've been working with Chris and Gini for a little over a year, I think now.
Yeah,
close to. Born and raised in Indiana, came down here to Florida, went to chiropractic school in Florida, stayed here, found a woman, couldn't leave. You know how it goes.
That's how that goes.
Yep.
So you've been doing OWCP nearly the entire time you've been a chiropractor then?
Almost. Yeah.
Half the time?
Yeah.
So what's your experience with it so far?
We're happy. We're happy with being able to help people. That's obviously what we want to do at the end of the day, is help people. It doesn't matter what kind of patient, but we'll dive into that, I'm sure, tonight too, more how you guys know this. You don't always get help. It's hard to find good help. So we're here for that. But yeah, it's been exciting. It's new, right? It's not something we do every day. It's not something most doctors want to do. So it's been exciting to kind of take that step up and make a name for ourselves, but also be able to help a lot of people out too.
Well, and they're definitely doing it. And we're going to get into the volume of people you're helping, your claims percentage rate. And before I ask Dr. Suma to introduce himself, I want to just let everyone know, and I told them in advance I was going to tell you this. None of this is pre-planned. We didn't coordinate this. I didn't send them a list of questions. I have no idea what I'm going to ask them, and I just asked them yesterday to do this.
Yeah.
So none of this is pre-planned. Everything's very authentic. What you hear from them, they're going to answer a question they did not know was coming because I don't know what's coming. So with that, Dr. Suma, talk about yourself. Tell them what's going on with you.
So my name is Michael Suma as well. I went to Florida Atlantic University where I had my degree in exercise physiology. I am a chiropractor as well. Me and Dr. Kammer actually went to school together. That's where we met each other. I ended up with doing a preceptorship at the end of my program there, and that's how I got introduced to Chris and Gini, and passed all my boards. And I've been doing OWCP, workers' comp, federal workers' comp since I actually pretty much since I've been licensed. The one thing I say about my federal patients, they're some of my best. It's fulfilling to treat people who want to get better, and they just need someone to help them along the way. And it's, that's the best part of being a doctor is when you're with someone, you're treating someone, and they're on the same page as you. They want to get better. They want to get back to work. They just need help, along the way. And it really is fulfilling.
So let's jump right into this because I want people to see something. So let's start out with a reminder to everyone watching. Nationally, the claims acceptance rate, the number of federal employees with an accepted claim nationwide is 1 out of 7 people. So if anybody thinks that's good, do your math different. I said 1 out of 7. It's awful. And the reason that's happening is most people won't report their injuries. They're scared to do so. Their supervisors give them a hard time. They can't find doctors. And then when they do, they find the wrong doctors and they get their claims denied. So I'm going to just right out of the gate, Dr. K, tell everyone what your current claims acceptance rate is. And you've treated cumulatively all of your practices. You've treated several dozen people, or a few dozen people at least, in a very short amount of time. So what is your acceptance rate now? The percentage of claims accepted in your practice?
So right now we did the numbers yesterday when we found out we are going to be on here, right? Figured that's a question you're going to throw us. We're at 75%. That does not mean we missed the other 25%.
So what happened to the other 25?
The other 25% are just sitting. We're waiting on the federal government. As you guys know, it takes time, right? The federal government, we joke with our patients, they're not the quickest to make decisions. It makes sense. But the other 25% are just kind of waiting in the process for an acceptance or a denial. Sometimes we have patients walk in the door with denials from other places or doctors, and we have to take a stab at it that way too. So those take time to kind of put everything together and then send it out, and we have to wait again. So the other 25% are sitting there, and our goal is to have that other 25% become part of the 75 to push that closer and closer to 100.
So another way to put that is of the claims that have had decisions made, 100% accepted.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to keep trying no matter what.
What's that all about?
If the decision's been made, yes.
Yeah, the only way we won't get a case accepted is if the patient themselves, so you guys as federal employees, give up on trying, right? Don't give up. We're not going to give up. You can ask our patients. We don't. So, yeah.
That's right. We never give up. So, Dr. Suma, you did not know this question was coming.
No.
And you're newer at this than Dr. K is, right?
Okay.
So let me ask you this. Why is it that you don't get claims denied?
Because there's truly not a denied claim. It's called a request for reconsideration. As soon as someone comes in with a denied claim, they tell you why they denied it. And so our team, Max and everyone in our team, we're all trained to see exactly why it was denied, write something up that, explains why it should be denied and send it back in. That's literally why it is. No claim is ever denied in our opinion. It just means that we have to find out what more information we need to put forth to get that claim accepted.
That's right. So, Dr. K, you may remember the first day that I came in and did that long full day of training right in your office.
Oh, yeah.
Who did I say denied claims are for? Can you remember?
Not us. I don't know who you said.
That's right. Other doctors, we don't do that. That's right. It's not for us. That's exactly right. It's not for us. So, are we bragging? Of course we're bragging. But listen, if you're a federal employee and you have a work injury claim, what do you want to do? You want to be the 6 out of 7 nationwide who have denied claims, or you want to come here where it's 100%? So that's what we're trying to tell you is like, look, here we are. We got this office or several offices now, right? You guys are growing even.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about your expansion plans coming up because they do. They're successful where they are, but they're expanding into a couple of other areas coming up soon in the next few months to a year. But, people are coming here saying, look, we're tired of our denied claims. And, there's a solution. Everyone does not have to have a claim denied. We can have claims accepted. And so you're all very well trained, right?
Yep.
But who else in your office is very well trained?
The entire staff.
Yeah.
Everyone, right?
Yeah.
From the receptionist all the way up to the MD, right? Everyone is fully trained.
And if they're not, you tell me, and I'll make sure they are.
And so let's address the elephant in the room. So a lot of people here are going, "Oh crap, these are chiropractors." And so what's the deal with your practice? Explain the makeup of your practice. How does it work?
Dr. Jimmy, you want that one?
Yeah, I could take it. So we're a multidisciplinary practice is pretty much the short answer for that. That means that we have everything from your chiropractic, LMT. We have nurse practitioner.
LMT is massage therapist. Remember, we don't. Yeah,
nurse practitioner, an orthopedic. We are completely multidisciplinary and diversified in all spectrums of your healthcare needs.
So you have Max, right, who's a nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Max has a supervising medical doctor, right, who's an orthopedic surgeon.
Yep.
Is that correct? Orthopedic surgeon.
Yeah, he's I think it's supposed to be osteopathic. He's a DO.
That's right. He's a DO, which is a high-level doctor in OWCP. Mm-hmm. And so these offices have chiropractic, they have nurse practitioners, and they have DO, which is OWCP considers DO at the pinnacle. They love DOs. And so they have this multidisciplinary practice that they can all get together and make good decisions and get claims accepted at a rate of 75% so far, which is actually 100 of decided cases. So we're going to pause for a second because I'm guessing there's questions coming in, and Jeannie's going to holler a couple of questions out to me, and we're going to deal with them.
All right. So we have Dr. Cooper on.
Okay, so Dr. Cooper's crashing your party. You got to say hi to Dr. Cooper.
What's up, Dr. Cooper?
He's in Forest Park, Georgia, and Phoenix City, Alabama. By now, everybody knows him. And in the next couple of weeks, Dr. Cooper, you're going to be in the hot seat, so be ready.
Ron Sweetman says hi.
Ron's on from Pennsylvania. Hi, Ron.
Eve is on from their office.
What's up? Eve's watching.
Renee
hey,
Rose, hi, Chris and Jeannie. These doctors are the best. They love a challenge and love helping us.
I'm not sure if you guys can hear her well, but Renee Rose says you guys are the best.
Hey, Renee.
And they love a challenge, and they love helping them. That's good. So no questions yet?
Yeah.
All right, bring it on.
Deborah Schultz. I have an approved case. I need surgery. It states 30 days in advance for approval, but the hospital says it could take 9 months. I can't wait that long. What opinions do they have, the doctors, if I use my own insurance, use my SL? I was scheduled for surgery Tuesday, but now put off for 6 weeks. Any chance I might get an approval by then? My case goes back to 2019.
Okay, we're gonna have to go ahead and you can't read that much stuff. So that was a lot. All right, so if you're reading a long thing, Jeannie's not sitting beside me anymore, so I can't look over her shoulder and read it. But here's what I gathered from this question is that she's got an injury, the claim's not accepted yet, she needs surgery, and there's like an approval issue because the claim's not accepted. Can she use her health insurance? Is that the main part of the question?
Yes.
So how do you guys handle that?
The case is not accepted?
It's not accepted yet. She needs surgery. So What do we do about that?
What I usually recommend to our patients is if you're able to hold off on surgery. I know sometimes you're in pain, sometimes you have things you have to deal with, but if you're able to hold off on it and find a doctor that knows what they're doing, such as an office like ours or a federal injury center location, right? And then get the case accepted and you go through Department of Labor for the surgery because it is truly a work comp injury, then it better protects you. It's better protection. You don't have to use your sick and annual leave because most of the time after a surgery, your doctors will medically remove you, depending on what the surgery is, right? I don't know off the top of my head here, but we have had patients go through health insurance. I don't think it's an issue. I just usually warn people that put yourself in the insurance's shoes, I guess. If you were to go get surgery through Blue Cross Blue Shield and they perform the surgery and they find out that this is a work comp case and they go and ask the doctor that performed the surgery for the money back, which they're in the right to do, then the doctor is going to sit there, and if they don't know how to bill Department of Labor, then they might ask you for that money. right? We talk to our patients about this because we have surgeons we deal with that understand how to go through Department of Labor. Obviously, we're in a pocket in Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, but you can definitely get the surgery done through health insurance. I would just recommend having somebody that understands OWCP and FIC kind of in your corner, or OWCP and Department of Labor claims in your corner with you, such as an office like one of ours. And I that might not be the answer you're looking for because we might not be in the location you're in. But usually if you can get an accepted claim, you have a lot of protection for yourself. And it saves you a lot of money and time and other things. And, you know, you have some ground to stand on.
So let me just add to that. When your claim's not accepted, that's an issue. But when it gets accepted, oftentimes it's accepted for like a sprain. So Dr. Suma, how many times have you ever seen a sprain need surgery?
Not many times, Chris.
Right. Almost none. Right. And so that's a problem because people will come back. Yeah, and we hear it all the time that my claims examiner keeps denying surgery. I don't understand. I have a herniated disc. Well, what's the issue? Yes, they have a herniated disc, but what happened?
The herniated disc is not an accepted condition.
Exactly right.
A lot of times you'll see the strain sprain is an accepted condition. Now, that's not saying that when you initially injured yourself, you didn't cause a strain or sprain, but you also, could have caused that herniation as well, and it's just not what the accepted condition is.
Or the doctor said, wow, doing a sprain is easy. So they did that and didn't go through the effort of doing the diagnosis expansion, right? Because that's a whole nother report that takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
All right. Gini.
This is from Vincent Sapone. I'm seeing Dr. Chris in Palm Harbor Federal Injury Centers. I was told that Dr. Brashear is affiliated with the Federal Injury Centers, but he's not on staff there. How do I get my medication and how can I get my paperwork filled out when needed from OWCP? Because the paperwork will be time sensitive.
Dr. Brashear, who's?
Dr. Barish.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So this is really rough with her reading it from across the room and not being able to.
He wants to know, how does he get his medication and paperwork filled out when OWCP sends it to him because it will be time sensitive?
Oh, yeah. So he wants to know how he gets his paperwork filled out. Bring it in, right? I mean, when you guys bring it in, you take care of it. Even if your DO is not in the office, what do you do with your EMR, your electronic records?
He has access to them. He can read them, sign off on them, review it, all those things. In this, Vincent, I've talked to Dr. Chris. I know of you. We've had a conversation about it, so I'll be there to help too. To be more personalized for you, let me talk to Dr. Chris and see what we can do for you too. But I know the paperwork you need filled out, and yes, we handle that paperwork. It's an attending physician's report, so we handle that. And I know your situation is a little bit unique, so we'll dive into it. I don't want to take a lot of time off of this when we can directly help you in one of our offices. So
right, and the other thing is for everybody watching, and not just for federal injury centers, but for any doctor you go to. We've had nurse case managers go into a chiropractic office and tell a patient, you can't be here. You got to get out of here. Well, the nurse practitioner and MD is right there in the same room next door in an office seeing another patient because it's multidisciplinary. So you don't have to worry about that. And I said that to say this, when you come here and you need your paperwork filled out, Max is there, the nurse practitioner. And so there's options for getting your stuff filled out. And that's the purpose of a multidisciplinary practice. So you don't have to worry about, the DO not being in the office 24/7 because somebody else is that can handle it. And Department of Labor rules state that a nurse practitioner or PA's work is held at the same level as the MD or the DO, as long as they get a counter signature of the MD or DO. So when Max signs off on something, so does the other doctor. They countersign together and your reports are good to go. You can have them done same day.
Leah Mercer said, I have an approved claim after I had surgery and used my sick leave. Now I have to get my time back. It should have been COP, but was entered. Now I have to request back pay. Is it 75% of my wages or should it be 45 days of full pay, then buyback of 75%?
Okay, so the question, if you guys can't hear, I'm going to take this one, is someone had a CA1 injury that presumably was reported within 30 days and in a box 15 elected COP, but is not getting paid COP. And so the question is on LWOP, do I get paid 75%? So the answer to that question is on LWOP, your percentage depends on your numbers of dependents. If you have more dependents, you get paid 75%. If you have fewer dependents, you get paid 66 2/3, right? But the real issue is, why aren't you getting paid COP? You've got to look at your second page of your CA1 form, because the last question on the CA1 asks the supervisor if they intend to controvert your continuation of pay. And if so, state your reason why. Well, usually their reason why is awful. They have no idea what they're doing. Your supervisors are idiots by and large, and the ones that aren't are playing dumb. Most of them aren't playing dumb. They just are. But so as dumb people, they fill out their CA1, like a dummy. And so they write things that aren't true because they don't realize that the laws can penalize them for writing things that they know are false. So the first thing you have to do is take a look at your CA1, box 36. It's the last question on the second page, and see that the supervisor do that. But the other thing that can happen is if you went to an office, a doctor, who didn't get your report out within 10 days, they can cut off your COP until your narrative report is in. And so you got to take a look at that. With all that said, your union should be able to grieve this and get your COP or your time that they're trying to make LWOP converted back to COP, because they're not allowed to mess with your pay. So go to your union.
Liz Nelson said, how long does OWCP second opinion has to send in his report?
These are great questions. Okay. Can you guys hear her?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So how long does the second opinion doctor have to send in their report? I can truly say I've never read that rule, and I've read all of them. So I don't think they have any rules that are different than us. We are required to get your narratives on a CA1 in within 10 days, on a CA2 within 30 days. I'm not sure what their time frame is, but it ought to be within a week, I'm sure, because we have 10-day and 30-day time periods. So theirs is probably less than that, because they're just evaluating and sending in their BS reports from the 5 minutes they spent with you, not looking at you, not touching you, not reading.
That's what I was about to say. We hear a lot of times that they're in there for 5 minutes for a second opinion. So
yeah. And while we're on this, what else are you guys hearing? When somebody goes to a second opinion doctor, what's happening next? I mean, when they come back, what are they telling you?
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, like Dr. K just said, we do hear a lot about, let's just give it a body part as an example, but a shoulder case where a patient goes for a second opinion and it's very quick. The doctor really didn't even touch their shoulder. They just asked them a couple of, very vague questions, and then we're able to write up a report about it. We have heard about that. But I will say that's not all the time. I've actually had second opinion doctors who thoroughly agree with what our doctors and what our nurse practitioners, what we're writing at our office as well. So, it's not all the time that we do see that, but yeah, I've definitely heard what Dr. K has been saying, where, I don't know how someone can write a report on me when they, didn't even physically touch my injured shoulder or whatever the body part might be, in the case.
So there's no real rules on this, on what I'm about to ask next. So there's no wrong answer, but, what would you guys do? What is your idea of what you would do if someone comes in and says, gosh, I had a second opinion doctor who totally went against what you guys said and says, I'm all the way better. I need to go back to work tomorrow. Nothing's wrong with me. What would you do about that?
Address it.
Right. Like a narrative report, right? You'd write a report about it.
So that's an argument we make with, we spend a lot of time with you guys as patients. We spend a lot of time with you guys. We're often seeing our patients for a month or 2 months before they ever even go for a second opinion, or sometimes even longer in certain cases. It depends on what the injury is. And you spend all this time with people and you have all this documentation, and you have the supporting evidence, and then a second opinion doc states that they can do something completely opposite. So you just have to address it again, right? We have that supporting documentation. It's there. And not all second opinion docs are bad. Like Dr. Smith said, we've had write-ups where they completely agree. It just kind of depends on what they write, but it doesn't stop us from doing anything. We address it the same way you address a denial letter, right? You need whatever the issue is there. We got to stay within lines too. We got to be honest. We got to do those things. So, right. But yeah, we have the documentation, the supporting evidence all the way from day one. We've seen you more versus a one-time exam. So,
yeah. So in other words, look, I like the way you put that. Treat it like a denial. You go to the second opinion doctor, they say something that we disagree with. you handle it just like you would a denial letter from a claims examiner. You explain why that's incorrect.
Hmm.
You e-comp it, and then, you know, your opinions. And by the way, everybody, yes, let's remind everyone, these guys are chiropractors. When I say your opinion, I mean the practice itself, a multidisciplinary practice with medical and everything. Okay. So their opinion is a multidisciplinary approach. I mean, look, you're getting a DO, a nurse practitioner, and a chiropractor who are all experienced at this, getting together and saying, here's what we think, versus, you know, 1 second opinion doctor that spent 5 minutes with you.
Yeah.
It's a powerful visit. It's a powerful medical opinion that goes in, and it's an effective medical opinion when you guys send those things in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Petra Hubble says, "Hey, Dr. K and Dr. Suma."
Hey, Petra.
Misty Alexa says, "Both of them are really great guys. They are super knowledgeable. If they don't know any answer to a question, they will get the answer. They have helped me with 2 separate cases. I love having a doctor that is down to earth and treats you as a human being. I will continue to refer anyone I know to Gulf Coast Rehab."
How about that?
Thank you, Misty. Thank you.
Those are really, really nice compliments.
Yeah, that puts a smile on your face right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, nobody ever says anything nice like that about me.
Says, "Are all offices that we have multidisciplinary?"
Okay, so Kimberly asked, are all federal injury centers offices multidisciplinary? And the answer is absolutely yes. Every office is a combination of medical or DO, nurse practitioner or PA, chiropractor, and some offices have either a PT or an OT. And so you can operate a program like this, a federal injury centers program, with all of those disciplines. And then they, of course, have, you know, massage therapists and the other technicians that help out in the office. But yeah, every one of the federal injury centers offices by design is multidisciplinary.
Okay. Kevin Hall said, "Had failed spinal fusion 2 months ago, still in extreme pain. Now my legs have gone numb. Knees are swollen in pain. Any activities exhaust me. It has affected my legs and feet. Am I doomed?"
So Kevin Hall's had a really bad time. He's been with us for a long time with his work injury. And his question is probably one that most people think of when things aren't going well for them, because he ended with, "Am I doomed?" And look, I'm not a doctor. These guys are, but I'm going to say no, not necessarily. Why would you be if we can, you know, figure out what's going on? Where's Kevin located? Hey, Kevin, where are you located? So let us know. But you guys see that, right? You get people coming to you all the time that have had like absolutely terrible situations, and then they come to you and they've had like multiple denials, right? You've had people with multiple denials that you can think of names right now if you wanted to, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, how do you handle people that come in and like all hell has broken loose because they couldn't find anybody that knew what you guys know?
One of the approaches I think that we take with it is we really like to simplify things. Me and Dr. K kind of, that's how, you know, patients will come in, they've seen all these doctors and, you know, I've been here and there, I've got all these denials, you know, and it's a lot, right? It's a lot up front. We want to break it down to, you know, what's the injury? Why was the case denied? And that's how we're going to approach it, right? You know, you've seen some doctors and they didn't write something up correctly in the past. Well, that's, you know, the good news is you're with trained doctors and physicians who understand the OWCP Department of Labor world. And that's the best step you took right there, is you went to someone who really understands and knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So Kevin, let us know where you're located, because whatever you're dealing with, if it's something that can be dealt with on our end, maybe we have somebody close to you that can help you out.
Looks like he's in Dallas.
Oh, well, we definitely have somebody in your area that can help you, Kevin. So send us a private message, and Gini will help you get in touch with somebody that can answer your questions the way these guys are tonight.
Tammy Newman said, "And Dr. Suma is pretty funny. LOL. Love Dr. Suma and Dr. K. They are genuine and very caring."
Tammy, that's all she's got? She didn't say anything about Chris?
No.
Okay.
She didn't have anything nice to say.
Nothing nice to say, so nothing at all, huh? We love Tammy.
Tammy Wilk said, "Can you go to one of your centers just for an MMI and a schedule award?"
So Tammy Wilkes asked, can you go to federal injury centers just for an MMI and schedule award? The answer is yes, absolutely. But unfortunately, not all federal injury centers do the 6th edition impairment ratings the way Dr. Free does, who works with these guys in St. Pete. So if you're in the Tampa area, you're all set. But otherwise, go to federalinjurycenters.com and check out the Schedule Award Doctors tab. And that will give you an idea of the handful of people that are trained already. Dr. Cooper, who was here earlier, has done several of these already. Him and his associate doctor are trained. Dr. Free is trained, who works with these two guys. So we've got a few. But yeah, the answer is yes, you can if it's an office who has a trained doctor, because 6th edition impairment ratings are few and far between to find a doctor who knows how to do it. It's hard. It's a lot of work. And I understand why people don't do it. But our doctors are working on it. And this particular group, Gulf Coast Rehab, already took care of it.
Patty Plummer says, do you accept patients with an accepted claim and has been seeing another physician? Having a very difficult time getting consequential injury accepted. I have traumatic brachial plexus injury.
So I'm going to leave that to one of you guys. So will you take a patient who's been working with another doctor but needs a consequential injury and can't get it done?
Yes.
So that was easy.
Yeah. I'll help anybody we can. There's a certain form sometimes you have to fill out. And this is where we get certain situations where people are happy with the doctor they're with. This depends on a lot of different variables that is more case-to-case based. But yeah, if you're not getting anywhere and you need to go somewhere else, I'm here to help you. And we have no problem as an office. All of our doctors and physicians have no problem co-managing with the prior place you were at. Right. The goal is to help you guys out. So if they're not on board with that, then, this might sound rude, but we'll take it on and help you guys out. So,
or we could say if they're not on board with it, then they're cowards and you should switch anyways. So we will always take someone who was with another doctor. We never encourage people to leave their doctor they're happy with. If you're happy with your doctor, that's great, actually, because so many people aren't. So we want you to be. But like he said, if your doctor sends a referral over, they'll work with your doctor. No problem. All of our offices will work with your doctor if he or she sends a referral. But if your doctor is doing a bad job and just continuously, perpetually writes bad narratives, then you're at that red light I'm always talking about. And how long will you sit at the red light before you run it? Sometimes running the red light is going to another doctor. Now, you can request a change of doctor. You can ask for a referral. And by the way, if you want a change of doctor, you can go to breakingowcp.com. And I've got a form there that will guide you through how to write that change of treating doctor letter. But you can do that. You can get a referral, or you can ask your doctor to remove themselves from the case by calling the claims examiner. And the rule states that request shall be honored. And then you can go find a new doctor. But I want to reiterate, nobody's encouraging you to leave your doctor that you're happy with. But the question was, will we do it? And the answer is always yes, we will do it.
Vincent Sapone said, Dr. Kammerer, will I get to see the MD doctor at the Palm Harbor office when I see Dr. Dr. Chris?
So he wants to know, will he get to see the medical doctor or the DO? Go ahead and explain how it works. It's the answer is proper. So go ahead and explain how it works.
So our nurse practitioner, Max, is at the same level. Again, Chris mentioned this earlier. According to the Department of Labor, a nurse practitioner or a PA is the same level as an MD or DO according to the Department of Labor, as long as the MD or DO countersigns the nurse practitioner's opinion, work, whatever they're doing, right? Vincent, in our situation, our office, I'll be completely honest with you on here, our office does not do a lot of pain medication or things like that. So we have people that we can get you in touch with, though. We do. We have people that can help you. So let me talk to Dr. Chris. Let's talk to Max. Let's talk to Mark. Let's get everybody on board and let's help you out within the next week or so and get everything done. Let Dr. Chris know what your deadline is so I can find out what we can do for you, how quickly we need to act.
Yeah, I want to add to that too, because federal employees they don't have a career of healthcare, so they don't understand this business the way we do. But the way it works with nurse practitioners and PAs is they are autonomous, meaning they get to work alone. And in the state of Florida, they are autonomous. They can do almost everything without an MD or DO. But in federal workers' comp, they are required to get that extra level of review. And so when the doctor is signing, they're not just signing their name. Okay, I call those signing stations. We don't have doctors that are just signing stations. Put something in front of me, we sign it. They review it. They make changes to it. They ask questions about it. They understand it. They sign it. So even if you're not seeing the MD or DO, by the rules, the nurse practitioner and PA are doing the work that they would do if the MD was standing over their shoulder, because virtually the MD is standing over their shoulder. We all use electronic medical records. All of the providers can see all the documentation at the same time all the time. So that's how this works. And by the way, that's what you guys as federal employees should really appreciate, because most of the doctors around this country don't care about you. They don't want you. They hear work comp and they run from you. And how do I know that? Because I'm involved in recruiting these guys and other doctors. And for every one of these guys that say yes to you, to help you, another 10 or 15 say no. And they say, it's workers' comp. I don't want it. It's federal. I don't want it. I'm not interested in the paperwork. I've heard it's awful. And so when you find a practice like this, and like all the federal injury centers that are multi-specialty, multidisciplinary, that's a gift to you, because this is a group of people who didn't say no. It's like there was a fire and they ran to it, not from it. So even if you don't see the DO during your visit, the DO is seeing your work and they're countersigning it. Otherwise, a nurse practitioner can't finalize it.
Correct.
All right, we have Tim Vanderman said hi from Maryland, Virginia, and DC. He's sharing this awesome live.
What's up, Tim? So Tim is a franchisee in the Maryland, DC, Virginia area, and he works with like 4. I think he's just about to bring on a 5th group of doctors. And so in that area where I think there's a couple of federal employees up there, they're able to help a lot of people, and they're bringing on their next office. So it's really exciting what they're able to get done up in that DC area.
All right, we have 2 questions from YouTube. One is from Tanya G.
Tanya.
Say where they're from, YouTube.
Tanya from YouTube. What's up?
She says, is it a mutual agreement if you are ready to return back to work?
She says, is it a mutual agreement if you're ready to return back to work? I have my answer on this, but return to work is a medical thing. It's a practitioner should answer that. So when do you guys handle that? What's your opinion on that? Is it a mutual agreement to send someone back to work?
Ooh, this is a tough one. So I will say, obviously, any trained physician will do a full workup when it's physical exam. They're going to test your abilities. One of the things we have, or for example, is a functional capacity evaluation. It's a very detail-oriented physical exam where it puts you through the vigorous tasks that you might have through work and determines if you're able to return to work. But here's the thing: if you're doing this FCE or these physical exams for a return to work and it's painful and you're unable to do it, then any physician would, in their right mind, opt to obviously say that you can't return to work. So it does, in a way, it has to be a mutual decision, because if you're in a bunch of pain, I mean, I don't see how you could return to work, with a doctor, like a federal injury doctor who really knows what they're kind of talking about.
So that's right. But Dr. K, let me ask you a question. So pretend I'm one of your patients.
Hmm?
I'm going to take vacation. Can you take me off of work?
No. No.
So it is a mutual decision, but it's a medical decision, right?
The mutual thing, the mutual medical decision is it's safe for you to return to work. That's what that's the agreement we're coming to. It is safe for you to do these certain activities or to have these certain restrictions, whatever it is. That's what we're mutually agreeing on, is that it's safe for you to perform those. And there will be instances, I'm sure, where we, as medical providers, not just our office, but medical providers across the country, will deem that you are capable of doing something, and you might not agree with it, but in our evaluation, it shows that you are. And so that, that's the conversation. We don't shy away from those conversations. Have them with us. Let's talk about it. But at the end of the day, it is a medical decision, right? But we do have your safety in mind. That is one of the biggest things. We have your safety in mind. We do not want you to re-injure yourself. We don't want you to further injure yourself. It needs to be done properly.
Yeah, and another thing that I know you guys do this, and a lot of the other doctors do too, is they'll tell you, as federal employees, they'll tell you that here's your CA-17. This is what we believe medically you can do at work. If you get there and this isn't working out for you and it's hurting and you're not able to do the job, come back and tell us tomorrow.
Yes.
Right, because you can always remodify the 17 tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Also, I think you guys have spoken about this before on your Wednesday night chats, but we have patients where we will put them on a light duty, right? And your agency will provide you with a light duty role. Sometimes our patients, I don't think this has happened to any of our patients specifically, but I've heard of this happening. I think, Chris, I've heard you talk about this, where people almost get forced into signing that role.
Yeah.
Please, please, please always take that light duty role to your doctor and make sure that it's within the requirements that they agree with for your safety. Don't feel that you're forced to sign something right away the day a supervisor or whoever hands it to you.
That's right. The rule actually states. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, the rule for this for Department of Labor actually states that when you're offered a limited duty assignment, that your doctor has an opportunity to evaluate that and make sure it works out for you. So always take it back. Sometimes your supervisor says, "No, you must sign it right here," but that's not what the rule states. The rule states that you have an opportunity to review this with your doctor, and this is an area where your union should get involved too. So if your supervisors are pushing you around, that's where your union kicks in because they're powerful, right? If they want to push back, they can. Supervisor pushes you, union pushes back, and then you bring it to the doctor, and they can help you out.
All right, we had another YouTuber, LinkedIn. Carlos Barrios said, if an employee is out due to several surgeries and now wants to return, the DOL is requesting a second opinion. Should they still seek to right to work or wait for the results from the second opinion? Carlos Barrios.
So Carlos on YouTube says they want to go back to work, but they're being sent to a second opinion doctor. So I just want to pause right there. If someone's going back to work, what the heck do they need a second opinion doctor for? Because usually the second opinion doctor is just going to say, "Great, go back to work."
It's usually the other way around.
It is usually the other way around. They're out of work. Second opinion wants to send it back. But if you've already sent somebody back to work and then they send them to a second opinion doctor, what would you tell the patient to do?
I would go with our recommendations that we've been seeing you for a long time. We stick with the recommendations, go to work, go get a paycheck, and work within the restrictions that your doctor provided for you.
That's right. And to add to that, second opinion visits are mandatory. So if you're sent to one, go to it because they'll cut your OWCP off if you don't go. But I mean, these guys are telling you that you can go back to work. And I always tell you the surest way to get paid is to clock in. So they're saying go back to work and clock in. If the second opinion visit is mandatory, go to it. But what you're going to find when you get there is a second opinion doctor is going to say, "Oh, you're already back to work. I don't have to do this to you. Somebody already did."
Diane Green said, is there any exception given for delayed treatment when injury was at the height of COVID-19?
Is there any exception made for delayed treatment when the injury happened at the height of COVID-19? I'm going to take this one. Okay, so you have 3 years from the date of injury to report any injury. You have 3 years from the date you knew a CA2 condition was work-related to report that. COVID is like just around 3 years old now, so you're definitely within your 3 years. So anything that you want to report now is still within your time frame. You can definitely do it, COVID or not. So you can still today report your injury and go get help. No problem at all, COVID or not. Everybody has 3 years to report injuries. That's the best way to put that. Everybody has 3 years with or without COVID.
Tammy Wilk said, so I'm in Pennsylvania and would like to travel to get an MMI schedule award. How many times would I have to be seen?
So the question is, I'm from Pennsylvania. I want to travel to get my MMI and schedule award. How many times do I have to be seen? The answer is one. What will happen is the office will ask you to send all your records in advance so they can evaluate it. And that way that gives them a chance to say, here's what's missing. You can send those as well. They have a chance to evaluate everything that you've sent. Then they make your appointment. You come in, you get the impairment rating, and you're done. So the report may not be done the same day, but you're finished, and they can send you the report later.
Those reports take a long time.
Those reports take a long time. That's not going to happen in the same day. But if all of your records are there early, they can evaluate it early, see you in person, then write the report. You don't have to be there when they write the report.
Tammy Wilkes said, I was just sent a letter stating you only have to write a letter if it's your primary doctor, not a specialist. How would that work with your centers? Are you considered specialists?
That's funny. So the question is, are we considered specialists? So the technical answer is no, we're not specialists, because in healthcare, specialists are like orthopedic surgeons, neurologists, and so forth. But in OWCP, we are specialists because nobody else knows what the heck they're doing, and we do. So we specialize in this. But in fairness, we are not qualified or classified as specialists according to the textbook definition of specialist in healthcare.
And real quick to add to that,
Yeah.
Dr. K and I have done over the past 6 months or so have really worked our butts off. I'll give it to us. We have worked our butts off to try and build a network for you guys in the Tampa Bay area with specialists from any realm you can think of when it comes to healthcare, who are willing to treat you guys, through the Department of Labor. So at Gulf Coast in the Tampa Bay area, I do like to say that we actually do have a lot of specialists that we can refer you to who will be able to help you out.
Yeah, that's right. They've worked really hard. They've got a spine surgeon. They've got extremity surgeons. They've got a interventional pain guy. I'm sure I'm missing somebody. You've got imaging centers that will help patients without asking for health insurance. And all these doctors and imaging centers in the Tampa Bay area will take on a case that's not accepted yet to help strengthen the case to get it accepted. So it's a really unique situation that we have here in Tampa. And these two guys have been instrumental in building that.
Cynthia O'Connell said, if a knee replacement is recommended, but I do not wish to have the surgery, will I be able to remain on light duty? If I didn't have this job, a replacement wouldn't be necessary. I could hold off for several years.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but that's a real complex question. You guys want it, or you want me to answer? I know the answer.
You can start. And if we feel that we have something to add, we'll add something onto it.
Perfect. So ask it again, and I'm going to hit it.
If a knee replacement is recommended, but I do not wish to have the surgery, will I be able to remain on light duty?
Okay, that's good. That's the part I forgot. All right. So the question is, if I want to have or the doctor says I need surgery and I don't want it, can I stay on light duty? The answer is it depends on your agency. It depends on your supervisor, and it depends on the strength of your union, because you're not required to accept surgery. If a doctor recommends surgery, you have the ability to say, no, I don't want it. Normally, this is a question that comes up with impairment ratings. They say, can I be an MMI if I don't want surgery? And the answer is yes. You don't have to have surgery, and you don't have to accept any kind of treatment. You can say no to all treatment, but especially surgery. But the question is, if I don't have surgery, can I stay on light duty at work? And it just depends. I know people that have been on a limited duty assignment for years and have been on the OWCP rolls for decades. Those are outliers, but that means it can be done. So it really depends on your agency, your supervisor, and the strength of your union. You guys add anything to that?
I usually just tell patients it's your body. Just because somebody tells you it's surgery, I'm not a surgeon, so I guess I can't. I'll start with that. But yeah, it's your decision at the end of the day. It's a patient's decision what they want to have done or not have done.
Right.
Our office, I know I can speak for our office as a whole. All of our Gulf Coast rehab offices. That if that's a decision you make, we'll fight like hell to help you along the way, right? Or try to find other solutions or services that help manage the pain or get you to where you're improving and able to do more work and not have to have the surgery, right? We'll try different ways, but yeah, the union thing is new. That's news to me. I didn't realize the union strength plays into that.
Oh, I mean, the union can fight for their members and say, hey, there's definitely a place over here that they can do this limited duty assignment. Unions have a tendency to be strong, when they want to be. They can really, really fight for people. And that's why we always tell people to join your union, but don't just join, but participate. I go to local union meetings and like 15, 20% of people are there. And I think everyone needs to be involved with their union, know what's going on. And there's a shocking number of people who don't know who their union reps are. And well, that's a problem when you need union help and you know who to go to. So I just encourage everyone to take the initiative to find out who your people are, go get involved with them, because one day, God forbid, you may need it. And when you need it, you need to know who to go to.
Mary said, just wanted you all to know my surgery is approved. Thank you for all the help. Applause to the staff at Forest Park office. I appreciated it. God be with you all the way.
So that was one of Dr. Cooper's patients.
Way to go, Dr. Cooper.
Success story. So that's awesome. Good job, Dr. Cooper. Yeah.
Misunderstood said, still waiting for my acceptance.
Is her name Misunderstood?
I misunderstood.
Oh, that's her name?
Yeah.
I misunderstood?
Yeah.
Is her name?
Yes, it says.
What a great name. Okay.
She said, still waiting for my acceptance on day 41 out of 90.
Out of 90.
90 days.
So she says she's still waiting on her acceptance on day 41 out of 90. Okay, so I don't know what 90 is. There's no time frame.
Days.
Yeah, there's just not a 90-day time frame thing, but waiting on acceptance on day 41 is not uncommon, right? I mean, how long do you guys see it? When you send something in, it takes how long before you get something back?
We've seen a lot of, I guess that 90-day, it's not a rule by any means for them to follow, but ballpark is about 3 months that usually get a response. What we've been recommending to our patients is when you start to, and it looks like this is a reconsideration that she's waiting on it. When you start to get that point where they made a decision and you're doing a reconsideration, every about 30 days, we usually recommend you try to pick up the phone and call, be as nice as possible, because they have the final decision. You don't want to be rude on the phone to them, right? So being nice goes a long way, but being nice. And then after you call, or if you leave a voicemail, we advise our patients to type up, Eric Blowers talked about this a couple weeks ago, type up a Word document that you called at what time, at what date, sign it, and upload it to ECOM. Because your claim examiner will get that document when you upload it to ECOM. So it kind of prompts them to do their job, right? Without being too, aggressive or overly bearing on them, right? They still have a lot of work to do too. I think we do a good job of telling our patients that most federal employees are overworked. So are claim examiners, right?
There's 2.8 million federal employees, and there's probably not that many claims examiners, right?
Yeah.
It's a fractional number. Before we ask the next question, I know we're almost an hour into this, but for everyone that came in late, this is Dr. Suma from Land O'Lakes, Florida. Dr. K from Pinellas Park, Florida. They are part of Gulf Coast Rehab. They've got offices also in St. Pete and Palm Harbor. And you have plans to open up offices in some other areas. So let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, I knew this question was coming. So I can't give any locations, deadlines, or guarantees, but we are always trying to find ways to help out more federal employees. And I think we show that just in the fact that we opened up an office in Land O'Lakes in this past year and put Dr. Suma there. We brought Dr. Freed on board in St. Pete to do schedule awards. We brought Dr. Burns on, who just recently started with us, and so any new doc we're bringing on, we train them day one on OWCP on federal work comp. So we're actively trying to add more doctors, add a network to help you out. But yeah, I can't give any guarantees right now. But yes, we're always trying to help you guys out. So we're trying to make it more accessible to high quality doctors and closer locations too. So
yeah, I tried, but rest assured. So in the Tampa Bay area, if you want to have a denied claim, there's a lot of places you can go, but you can't go here. All right, this isn't the place for that. So this is an accepted claim group. This is what they do. Denied claims are for other people. And so we're really happy to have you here, but I wanted to let everybody know that's been watching, like, wait, who are these guys? That's who they are. All right. This is Gulf Coast Rehab and Federal Injury Centers in the Tampa Bay area. All right. So we're going to probably have a couple more questions for the next 7 minutes. What do you got, babe?
Dr. Fred Williams is on.
Dr. Fred Williams from Orlando. What's up? So we got this guy in Orlando. His office is finishing up their training. He's got a brand new place out there. He's been remodeling it. And we're really excited to have him come on because there's so much need in Orlando. We're hearing all the time from our friend Victor out there that, hey, what's taking you guys so long? We need some help out here. So help is on the way. Thanks for being here, Dr. Fred.
Okay, so Christine Richards said, my supervisor told me I could not leave with the CA-17. I was told I had to sign it immediately.
So the CA-17?
Yeah.
She said 17.
I have a very tacky text from the supervisor to bring the 17 back to the office because I took it to get a copy. They would not let me in the office because I was tested for COVID.
So a supervisor gave an employee a CA-17 and then said they couldn't take it out of the office? Does a supervisor know how to read English? Because letter A is supervisor, letter B is physician. I guess my question would be does your supervisor think your physician works there at the agency?
That'd be convenient.
It would be, wouldn't it?
She also said,
What else?
the office in McKinney took all my copies. I told them what I needed, told them everything that could go wrong had gone wrong with me. I don't know if they read any of it. Now I've gotten terminated.
Okay, well, she didn't get terminated because the office got copies, but we can definitely get the copies back to you. You got terminated because your supervisors are jerks. This is an area where the union has got to fight. They probably fired you for the wrong thing, which is almost everything. It's a crime to penalize you for reporting an injury. OSHA said so, the Code of Federal Regulations says so, and the United States Code says so. So if you have a work injury and you've been fired, you probably have a claim. You can file a complaint with OSHA within 30 days of the incident, 1-800-321-OSHA. You can file EEO claims, and your union should be fighting like hell for you, grievances and so forth. So that's number one. But number two, send us a private message so we can see exactly what the heck is going on and help you out of this mess.
Milad said, I got injured September 2019. I had 3 surgeries so far and another one coming for cartilage, MACI. For how long can I stay on OWCP?
I don't know what cartilage MACI is, but the answer to how long you can stay on OWCP is a long time if the agency and the union can work together to make that happen, and if your claim gets accepted. But what are those letters again? Cartilage what?
MACI.
You guys know what cartilage MACI is?
I don't know. Maybe there could have been a typo there. Maybe it's the cartilage that surrounds an ACL. Sometimes after a tear, maybe you can get some buildup and some, maybe they're going in for cleanup on it or something like that. But I'm not sure ACI. Do you have anything, Dr. K?
I do not have anything on that. I
Yeah.
think you can stay on OWCP though if it's medically necessary too. That to add on to what Chris said.
Yeah, exactly right.
Carol Martin said, I've been told OWCP will not approve stem cell. Is this correct?
So OWCP is not alone in this. They're not unique. All payers in the whole country stopped paying for stem cell. Medicare stopped paying, Blue Cross, Aetna, United Healthcare, and OWCP all stopped paying for it. But the interesting thing is if you look at the fee schedule for OWCP, which is like 300 pages of an Excel spreadsheet, they have C's or D's or other things next to the code that would be for the stem cell code. C means covered. So a couple of years ago, what they did is they left the C next to the code, but they put all the numbers as 0. And if you multiply anything times 0, what do you get? So 0. So what they told the doctors is absolutely this is covered for $0, right? And the problem with stem cells, it's not free. And so doctors have to spend a lot of money to get stem cell and then not get paid back for it. And then OWCP, like everyone else, now frowns on doctors that use stem cell. So right now, everyone's kind of on hold on stem cell, and nobody wants to. This group, actually, I think I speak properly or correctly to say that you guys believe in the benefit of stem cell, but nobody will let you do it.
What's that?
You believe in stem cell, but no one will let you do it.
There's definitely medical benefits behind stem cell. Yeah, for sure. We definitely do agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, our office does a lot of the more regenerative medicine too, right? So your PRPs, which is really good for decreasing inflammation, kind of the step before stem cells too. And then the OA protocol, so the Genvisc, the stuff like that, the hyaluronic acid injections as well. So some of those things that you could try before stem cell. If you've already tried those, stem cell is a tough one to get covered by insurances. But.
Right. So what they're saying is they have other alternatives that they could use for the joints, especially the knee joint. But right now, stem cells it's a weird thing. They were covering it 100% a couple of years ago, then they just stopped.
Tanya Fieri said, what do you do when you keep getting bogus job offers not within your restrictions? Please and thank you.
So Tanya's our friend out in Vegas, and she said, what do we do when they keep giving me job offers that are BS? And, they don't match up with the restrictions at all. So, what do you guys recommend? I know what I'm going to say, but go ahead.
File a grievance?
Yeah. Let's say file a grievance, get in touch with the union rep. Because, your supervisor's opinion is not a medical opinion.
Boom.
Yeah.
No truer words have ever been stated. Ask your supervisor for their medical license, please. File a grievance, keep taking it back to your doctor and have your doctor write a narrative report explaining why that is a BS limited duty offer. It doesn't work for the restrictions that have been written into the CA-17. All right, we're going to answer 2 more questions because we're up on an hour. and I'm sure everyone's getting tired.
Brenda Gonzalez said, got a second opinion and permanent restrictions were advised. OWCP sent my letter asking for his second opinion. What happens now, and will both opinions be considered for an updated work restriction?
Well, I mean, they're gonna consider the weight of opinions, and hopefully your doctor writes a better narrative report than the second opinion doctor. If you come to one of our guys, like one of our doctors, we're probably going to write it better than that guy because he didn't really try that hard. And they don't really, the second opinion doctors, I don't think have to try very hard because they're on the payroll. Just try a little bit and they'll probably just agree with them. Right? So you guys are a really strong narrative.
Wrong though? Like, are they stating that the second opinion doctor agreed with their doctor and they're now being sent for a second opinion?
She's shaking her head. Yes. A second opinion. A second opinion is not in the rules. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got some experience with this third opinion doctor thing, right? At your practice there, but
yeah,
that's not in the rules. They're not supposed to do that. I even asked that to Eric Blowers a while back, and he said, "There's nothing in the rules for a second opinion. There's no third doctor, third opinion. They're not supposed to do that."
Just for the doctors, usually how long does PRP shots last?
You guys catch that?
So yeah, that's not to give a straight answer, it varies, right? So obviously it depends on your injection site. It depends on how healthy you are in general. The more inflammation you have, the sometimes the less effective it would be because your body has to do a lot more work. If you understand a PRP, it's kind of you take the blood out and you take all the good stuff in the blood, you put it in a centrifuge and you inject it into an injured area in hopes that the body kind of does its job a little bit better than it should. So, I mean, I've had examples of patients who got they hurt their knee and PRP injection. It's been 5 years and they've been great, but it varies patient to patient.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And
all right, everyone, this is gonna be the last question. All the other questions will get answered in the comments by the staff. They'll get in there, they'll answer your questions. But we're gonna ask one more and answer one more.
If my approved doctor does not do the impairment rating, do I need a referral from him to a doctor who I can do it, or can I go on my own? My claim has been approved years ago and case is still open.
So the question is, can I go to any other doctor without a referral to get an impairment rating? Yes.
Yeah. Make sure that doctor that you're seeing states that you're an MMI though, because I know in our offices when Dr. Fred has encountered this, where somebody comes to him and they have not been deemed MMI by the physician you were seeing, our hands are a little bit tied to write the impairment rating. It's very difficult to state that you're an MMI if we're seeing you for the first time. If the doctor you've been treating you, actually, we won't state you're an MMI because we don't know anything really about the case besides the paperwork you send in. So that physician that you've been seeing in the past, if they deemed you an MMI, then yeah, go get your impairment rating.
Great answer.
This is for you. Barbara said, need information on who's responsible for setting up your appointment for FCCs and range of motion tests. Doctor says DOL, and DOL is saying doctor. I've been trying to get this done since June 2nd per doctor's request.
Okay, so the question is, and this is the last one, who's responsible for setting up the appointments for FCEs and things? The doctor. It's the office knows their own schedule, and they'll schedule according to their availability and to find what works for you. That's who's going to do it. So you just work with your doctor and get that scheduled and get it done as soon as you can. Find a time that works for you and your doctor. Okay, so those are great questions. This was for me fun. Yeah, I liked having you guys on for my first, the inaugural interview series. So thank you guys for being on. For those of you that weren't here in the beginning, I sprung this on them yesterday. They did not know what questions were going to be asked, and I didn't know what questions I was going to ask. But this is a great first time because, we're all friends too. So those of you that don't really know us, we're also friends. We don't just work together. We all kind of live in the same area. We hang out together. We're able to really share a lot of ideas together. When they have issues, they call me, they text me. But the good thing is that they almost never have to call and text because they're so well trained. And when a case comes in, they just know what to do. They've gotten their cases accepted at a 75% rate so far. The other 25% are still in process. That means that 100% of the decisions so far have been approvals. 100% of the decisions so far have been approvals. So if you like 100%, this is where you go. If you like, roulette, where you get like a 1 out of 36 chance of hitting, then you go someplace else, right? But here, your odds of getting an accepted claim are nearly 100%, right? So I wanted to bring them on. So Dr. K, Dr. Suma, thank you for being here, letting everybody get a chance to see who you are and hear about your practice. They're able to talk about the multidisciplinary practice they have with the DO, the nurse practitioner, the massage therapist, the multitude of offices and chiropractors that are there working with the patients. They're well trained on how to get claims accepted. They write fantastic narratives. This office and their multidisciplinary staff are able to do the CA-17s and CA-20s. They will not take money. How much money will you take from your federal patients?
Zero.
What if you don't get the claim accepted? How much money do they have to pay?
Zero.
Right. Whose problem is that? Theirs or yours?
Mine.
That's right. Except for their claims not accepted. But like I said, we don't have that problem here. 100% of the cases that have been decided on have been approved. And Gini is over here just like insisting that I let her ask one more thing.
They'd like to know all their locations.
Okay, so someone wants to know where all your locations are. Can you just give us some input on that?
So we have one location in St. Pete, Florida. That's Dr. Fred. We have a location in Land O'Lakes, Florida, which is just north of Tampa, and that is Dr. Suma. That's mostly there. We have a Palm Harbor location, which is pretty much Clearwater, Florida. Dr. Chris is there a lot. And then Pinellas Park, which is right in the middle of all that, is Dr. Lee, myself, Dr. Burns, and Max is in every office and everything else too. We're seeing a lot of, I get the chat on the side here, so I'm seeing a lot of thank yous, but I want to thank you, Chris, for bringing us on, right? This is very exciting. We got sprung on this yesterday, but it's pretty cool.
You guys did good.
I want to say thank you to our patients too, because it's very rewarding to treat federal employee patients. Seriously is. I think you guys asked me the first time, like, why do you want to treat federal employees?
Yeah.
I was like, hell, I don't know, man. Like, I don't have an answer for you. I have an answer now. So
yeah.
But it's rewarding. We spend a lot of time with you guys. So we get to know you personally, build relationships with you guys. So it's very cool. And it's maybe a little bit selfish that it's rewarding, but it's so cool to see you guys get your claims accepted and be able to actually help you and the excitement you come in when that happens and everything like that. So
yeah. To piggyback, we see these comments here. That's what it's all about. You go through medical school, you go through all this schooling and stuff because you want to help people. And that's been the best part for me is it's really rewarding to treat you guys. And, it touches the heart a little bit when you see comments like that. It's awesome.
Yep.
See, how about that? What?
And then we got Dr. Hawkins and Kamini from Redondo Beach.
Dr. Hawkins and Kamini from Redondo Beach, Florida? Look, Redondo Beach, California. Sorry. I was going to say, if we weren't in Florida, we'd be jealous because Redondo Beach is pretty awesome. Jeannie and I had a chance to go there and check it out. And it's like this little pocket in Southern California that you just never want to leave, except that we get to come back to Tampa Bay, which doesn't suck. But Dr. Hawkins in Redondo Beach, Camille's her case manager, and they're doing what you guys are doing. Their claims acceptance rate is exactly like yours because we have a system. Our system is accepted claims, not denied claims. We've built this thing so the narratives are consistent from coast to coast. And so if you go to a federal injury center's office, this is what you should expect. But you guys know, because you're on every week, some of the doctors like to jump on and say hi. Well, Dr. Hawkins will have a chance in the next few weeks to jump on and say hi, but you guys are first. You're the flagship.
I love it. I hope to be back on soon.
I really appreciate it. Look, thank you everybody that was here watching. You got to see, my friends, Dr. K, Dr. Suma, their whole staff with the DO, the nurse practitioner. Don't be scared that they're chiropractors. This is a place that they know what they're doing. They understand the medical involvement that's needed. And it's that medical people or those medical people are involved 100% of the time. But this is the face of the organization. This is who's doing the training for new staff that come on. They're leading the practice and guiding what happens with you when you get hurt. And they're guiding it to 100% acceptance rate. So everyone just check them out. For anyone that wants to know where our locations are, which everyone always does, go to federalinjurycenters.com. There's a locations tab. The states are alphabetized, and underneath it, you can find all the cities that we have offices, and their exact phone numbers and addresses are listed, so you can call them yourself. You guys are open. What are your hours of operation? Monday through Friday, what?
Pretty much 9 to 6 for the most part. To simplify it.
So Monday through Friday, give them a call, and they're happy.
And we're open Saturday mornings too.
And Saturdays.
Mornings.
Yeah, well, Saturday mornings, but that's great because some of the folks obviously got to work Monday through Friday, so you get a Saturday.
Darlene Marina said, love you both.
Darlene loves you too.
Awesome.
Talking about you too.
Thank you guys. Thank you all the doctors for what you do. And hurry and get some more doctors in other places.
We're working on it. So she said, hurry and get doctors in other places, and we are working on it.
So
all right, hey, everyone, that's it. We went a little over the hour, but it was fun. Guys, thank you so much for being on. I'll definitely have you back sometime in the near future.
Awesome.
And outside of that, I'll be seeing you guys soon.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, everyone else, I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for being at Wednesday Night Chats. Everybody, good night.